All right, good evening. Welcome to CT Collectibles. I'm C.
I'm T.
And welcome to 3 and Out, where we look at top 3 risers in football cards over the last week and one
Faller.
punt.
Or faller.
See, 'cause it's football themed. So punt. If you're falling during football, that's not a good thing because you should be tackled if you're going to go down. If you just fall, I mean, that's kind of useless. So, it looks like you fell today. What's going on there? Pretty rough recess?
Yeah.
Or rough hamburger?
Rough hamburger.
Yeah, okay, all right. Catch-up happens. So, all right, let's start it off with our number 3 riser for the week. And you know this guy.
Tom Brady.
Tom Terrific, exactly. Up 67% for the week.
Terrific.
Yeah, absolutely. So, from a high of around $7,000, coming off from $700, that's a tenfold increase. That's a pretty good number.
The opposite of that is Tom Terrible, which he'll never.
Which he's not. Which he is absolutely not.
That's why I said it's the opposite.
Exactly. So currently sitting at about $3,000, $25.50, and that's a pretty decent move down from $7,000, isn't it?
Mhm.
It is. So, typically when you see, call it what you will, crash, pullback, dip, it's crash. Come on now. You'll see a move back down from the top, 50 to 65, 60, between half and 2/3 of a move down from this range here. So maybe this is following up, and so it's in this falling wedge here, which is usually a pretty bullish sign, actually. So prices compress, and then typically they will break to the upside. But while it's in this, the trend is still down, and that's a pretty big move. So if there's a little move back down, it wouldn't surprise me. But Tom Terrific is in an interesting, getting interesting, I suppose. So
That should be my new name.
Tom Terrific. Well, I'll tell you what, you throw like 40 touchdowns in a season, and I'll call you Tom Terrific. So, all right, number 2 riser for the week, Peyton Manning.
He usually does 50.
Usually. I don't think that's true. So, 1998 Bowman Chrome.
Oh, he did.
This is the Bowman, and it's in a BGS 9, so not PSA. But he had a monster move this week here, up 70% from the bottom of the range here. So it brings it up to an area where there has been some selling before. This is a low volume move, so again, maybe not worth chasing. But gosh, could he challenge those previous highs of $300, which comparing to Tom Brady doesn't seem like a big deal. So yeah, probably.
And he's also the number 1.
Peyton Manning number 1. Yeah, exactly. So I think that's more of the card number than anything. But yes,
if he was the number,
I think you could make an argument for number 1. So
if he was the number 1 of his year, like decade, definitely not century. I mean, maybe century.
Yeah, he's pretty darn good. Pretty darn good here.
Tom Brady's in the 1990s.
Correct. Well, Peyton played into the. Tom Brady was after. He was what did we just say? 2000. And Peyton Manning was a couple years before that. So, anyways, whatever. So right here, trend is up. There you go. All right, let's go with our number 1 riser for the week. And it's a player you're very familiar with, Steve Largent, in a PSA 5.
Yeah, I'm definitely
up 100%. maybe that's more my style here. So, does not take much to go from $20 to $40 for that 100% move. So, in percentage terms, it's incredible. In dollar terms, not that impressive overall.
Nepal. Do you know why it's Nepal? Because there's some mountains.
Himalaya. Slide down, back up. So, all right, should we do our one faller?
Puncher.
Our punt. Exactly. See, you learned.
If you fall down.
Testing you.
If you fall,
it's useless. You can't fall down. You gotta get tackled.
Yeah, if you fall down.
Hey, it's Jerry Rice. We never see him in this. The Jerry Rice Raw. Right? Down 60% for the week.
He's like the number 2 riser.
I know. Next week he will be. So he's right at a spot where, yeah, he's going to rise next week. Next week or the next 2 weeks, I promise you, he will be, let's see, $40 to like 80. He'll be 100% up. So these are raw, so it's all about the condition. But yeah, it's just very, very volatile. People just love batting this one around, and he always finds his way onto these lists here. So here's your number 1 faller for the week, and he's at a spot where it's like, yeah, probably next week he's up 100%.
He's always like that. He's usually down. He's usually down like not too much, but then
that's
after
pretty
that,
that's a pretty good move down.
He's down a lot, but then
follow the clusters.
Everybody
trend is down. Right.
Every time he gets down, people are like,
yeah,
I think he's gonna stay there. But the next week,
no, someone comes in like, that's a great price. I'm gonna buy it. So that's how it goes. Want to do a couple overtime?
Sure.
Let's do a couple more fallers. I like the fallers because those usually present the best buying opportunities. Here, 1998 Peyton Manning.
Hey, another Peyton.
Another Peyton Manning. This is the Topps finest. So they had some weird film on it or whatever, but you clearly see that it says rookie on it. So pretty decently priced dollar amount card, right in there with like the Bowman Chrome, right? You got $300 area. But a big drop this week. Brought it back into, so you had this range up here, and now you're into this range, and so it's at a spot where it's close to, you can see some buying. So your upside now is $300. Your downside is, call it that 225. What is it currently at? 230 or 250?
250.
Yeah, so $230 area. And if it sneaks down to here, then your downside is whatever that is, $175 upside. So anyways, play your ranges here. Minimal downside, pretty decent upside.
This is Nepal times 10.
Oh, that was but look at these. That was one person who bought that and said, "Hey, I think this is a $700 card." Well, everyone else was like, "Yeah, that's a $400 card."
But that guy got really lucky. The guy
the guy that sold it got lucky. The guy that bought it sitting here like, what just happened? He got ran over by a truck.
So this one guy, so the fifth buy got really lucky.
Fifth buy? There's a whole bunch of here. What fifth? This fifth? This fifth?
The fifth before the first fifth that you just did.
Oh, my head hurts here. Let's go to the last one. Barry Sanders. Do not sell Barry Sanders. So
you don't understand my language.
I do not. On BGS 9.5, the 89 score. Again, big drop before. And when we've seen these big drops in the past, there has been some buying. So you could see some buying, but this is a broken uptrend. But it's in an area now where a lot of people have, this is where most of the buying is taking place, and you're kind of in there now. So your downside is to that 350 area. So currently it's at 413. So perhaps there's some more downside, but it's at a spot where it's like, yeah, all right, Barry Sanders. I want to be a Barry Sanders. I'm going to get a Barry Sanders.
Best running back in the game, or one.
One of the best. My favorite. He was my favorite.
He was probably my favorite.
He and Adrian Peterson.
He was my favorite ever on the Raiders, because...
Barry Sanders? He's not on the Raiders.
What was he on?
Detroit. That's why you don't know much about him. No one knows much about Detroit.
Nobody knows much about the 1980s also. Well, at least I don't.
He was more 90s, but a little bit 80s. It's all good. We'll catch you up.
I don't know about the 80s or 90s. I only know about the 2012s to 2021s.
Okay, well, we'll catch you up. We'll work hard at that. So far, you'll learn. So, all right, there it is. There's your risers and fallers, and do with that what you will. But we appreciate you tuning in, and have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.